All right, what is up, YouTube? I'm back once again. Sorry I didn't have a video yesterday, but I was doing my finals, and today the semester is over, so let's get straight into it. We're gonna dump shares of our Nike position. All right, so let's check it out. All right, so Nike has definitely been running up. As we were able to buy it on weakness, and now we're going to sell it on some strength here. We're up about $200, $283 on the position here. Starbucks is back, is back at that $61 level. We see the TQs definitely showing strength in the market, but I really think the market is still overbought, and I'm still in, Twilio. I do own this personally. You see AMD is still, in that funk. APC is still, having trouble trying to rebound. We see Berkshire Hathaway is still, going back. We're going back negative on the gain. And right here we have Home Depot. We're still positive on this stock. And as we see, it's still giving us gains, each day. What is that? Okay. So we see Honeywell definitely showing us some gains. We're about $300 on that. Lululemon, okay, we're up about $4 on that. And that's about it. Let's see how the Nike chart is before we actually go ahead and sell. We were able to get in at a really good sweet spot, about 53. So we see that we're meeting this daily moving average here. And anytime we're able to break out of the daily moving average, that's typically a bullish sign. So we might see an increase in buyers right here, but we see the RSI is definitely about to hit 50. This thing may get overbought at some point, but right now I just want to take gains because the market is looking very overbought. And as we see, we're having a lot of trouble, trying to break the 21,000 level and going back and retesting the Dow Jones, all-time high. So, that's kind of a negative or positive note at the same time. We're at 21,000, but we're not able to, break that level, break that 21,100 level. So, okay, let's see. Okay, now I'm out of the position about 54.92, and that's how you make easy money on a trade, especially if if the stock is definitely oversold or overbought. That that's the easiest way to make money. When you do trade. We see Honeywell. This is definitely a long-term stock. We see dividends are going to get paid out here. 5.17 here. If you want a dividend, about 68 cents, and we see Starbucks. I'm going to be collecting dividend from Starbucks. We see us dividend about 25 cents. Twilio is definitely a stock. Let's check that out. So I know it's still oversold. I was able to buy all in the 23 areas, and as we see here, we still have some downward momentum. The short interest on the stock is definitely still to the downside. About 30% of the outstanding shares are short right now, so that's kind of a negative note. But although I'm still positive on the stock, if you're able to read and analyze the financial statements and understand where the accounts lie, you'll understand that this is a growth name, and any downturn on weakness, this is definitely an opportunity to buy. We see we're oversold here, and I'm glad I'm able to buy shares at about $23. I was watching, I was able to watch, Twilio go down for just about a week, and it hasn't had a positive day yet. So I'm really glad that I got a position in, and I'm really glad that I was able to wait, before I buy, because sometimes I typically buy, on that dip day, and as we see, we have a dead cat bounce right there, and then the stock just goes back a little, retest those lows of that the stock did set. So let's check out Snapchat. All right, so as we see right here, we see a level of resistance Snapchat is definitely facing. Now, if Snapchat is able to show a positive beat or show some kind of positivity, okay, we're going to talk about this as well. If Snapchat is able to show some type of positivity here, this is definitely, a stock that, that will break out and go to probably $30 again. We might retest this high of $29.44. Let's put our resistance line here. And I'm pretty sure you might see a gap up, because there will be a lot of people buying the stock if, it was able to beat, the metrics that they did set out for the analysts. And we see a block trade right here. So this typically, when people, I would say this is the perks of having an actual broker that, gives them day trading software. So anytime you do see some unusual or huge buying power going on there, your broker will let you know and it'll pop up right here. So we see that a huge block trade. So this is about 739,000 shares of Snapchat was bought, at today about $23.20. So it lets us know that somebody knows something, that, they're getting really bullish on Snapchat, and they might think Snapchat is getting ready to beat the earnings and go higher. People are pricing in options for Snapchat to go higher. So a lot of people are betting that Snapchat goes higher because the bar is getting set super low, and people are wondering, Snapchat has to come out and beat, because if it doesn't, this thing will definitely go back lower than IPO listing, which IPO listing was about $17, and we might see it go lower. We're definitely going to break out of this range, and we're going to go down to the downside. But a lot of people are starting to be, slowly optimistic on a stock that is going to beat the earnings. And typically, like I said, I don't touch stocks. I don't touch IPOs I don't touch IPOs for investments until 1 year after. So Twilio is definitely a stock that I really love. And as we see here, we got 4 earnings out of the stock, and we see, it presents itself with a buying opportunity where, I was able to get in shares lower than IPO price actually. So this lets us know that, this strategy does work. But at the same time, you have to pay attention to, each financial statement that the company does put out. If it's, if the company's being really successful, go ahead and try it. But, this was just about all hype that the stock did receive. Twilio, ACA, these are the stocks that definitely ran up on IPO. It was a class of stocks that ran up on IPO, and we definitely want to pay attention to that because they were tech unicorns. And anytime you do get, stocks to run up in groups, you definitely want to, jump into that group and definitely play that momentum. We see from $27 all the way to $127. Now we're down to $48. Now we're just about at a 1 year time frame of being able to purchase this IPO class that IPO last year. Now it definitely has its perks of waiting to invest. But honestly, I usually wait a year because we have to get all the kinks out of the stock. Also, we see it reacted very volatilely. And, this was a pretty good swing trade. If you're into swing trading, this is a pretty good swing trade, holding all the way up here and, selling at that peak right there, and then just waiting for, a 1 year period to actually get into the stock and start investing, because we want to make sure that the volatility is actually gone out of the stock. And that's all we have to do here. Like I said, we took gains on Nike. The other stock that I did buy was Twilio. So Twilio and Nike. So we're able to be successful on Nike, and now we're out of Nike, and now we're just waiting on Twilio. Twilio will probably be a long term. I've price targeted about $30 on this trade. So we're definitely gonna see what's going on here. Twilio might knock down to $20, and the selling is just about done here. I'm waiting for this thing to pop up. Typically, whenever I feel like I get really antsy and I'm telling myself I have to trade and get out of the stock, typically the next day after is when it bounces back up. But we'll see, because I'm feeling kind of itchy that I need to really get out of the stock and choose something else. But we see Twilio hasn't had update in a while now, and the selling is pretty much overdone. People are just trying to price in what type of effects will Uber have for earnings for this year, or the next earnings for the next quarters as well. So that's simply how people look at it. But like I said, Snapchat is definitely a stock that that will take off, will break out, past this $29, because a lot of people will get back optimistic on the stock, and there'll be a lot of positivity going on rather than negativity. So we see a lot of options going on here, a lot of options going up towards the earnings, which is the earnings today after hours, and we want to make sure that we're just watching here. I'm not touching the stock. You might want to get really bullish on the trade, but I'm not touching the stock right now, waiting for the market to come down. We see that just about all the sectors are overbought. We see Apple is definitely getting back to be a crowded trade here. And as we see, Apple did break past that 150 barrier with a large bar, like I said it would. Anytime, and we see daily moving average act as support here. So we know our daily moving average is definitely on point. So anytime you do, get a stock that's going to break out at a key level, we want to apply that before it happens. So that way we'll understand if it's going to top out or, if it's going to break out. So let's check out Take-Two Interactive. This is a stock that I love, and I still do love it. We see right here, 65 is the all-time high here, and right now we're bouncing back on that support level, which was resistance at first, but now we're bouncing back on that support level. It looks like, the stock will go higher. We see the daily moving average act as support once again. Daily moving average pierce through right here, which signal a bullish trade, which lets us know that the momentum is to the buyers, not to the sellers. And that's how you have to look at. I think EA Sports reports today as well. We see that all the video game stocks are definitely overbought. I mean, overbought. And as we see right here, I plotted the all-time highs for here. Told you guys to watch out because they will break out, and I hope a lot of people were able to take advantage of that. We see Disney right here, definitely kind of a slow trade here. I know they report today, but it's kind of a slow trade. We see Facebook definitely overbought. Daily moving average acting as support right here. We see it, act as tough as support. And let's check out the Dow Jones Industrial. And we see the Dow Jones just about that overbought level. We see 62 is definitely showing us that buyers are to that upside just about. And we see a lot of action going on right here. We want to pay attention to that for the options, and also for people placing those huge block trades. And typically you'll get notified that. But if you have the actual real-time day trading TD Ameritrade software, it'll just pop up right here. You'll be able to see the time and the sales and different share counts of of the stock. And sometimes I see crazy numbers. Sometimes it'll be like 1 million shares, or probably 250,000 shares, or probably 3/4 of a million shares being traded here. But you have to pay attention to who are the people buying it, because it'll just show you the order. It won't necessarily tell you who's buying the stock, but you have to pay attention to it, because that lets you know that big institutions are actually looking into buying positions into the stock, because not a lot of retail people have a lot of money on hand to buy 1 million shares of blue chip stock. So AAOI, this is definitely a stock that I should have bought back back when I was trading it. We see the stock is definitely having momentum to the upside. It's starting in this 40 range right here. This is back when I was trading it. I think I traded it for when I was doing group work here, and I wanted to get a trade here since I was doing group work waiting for my group, and I was able to trade it. But as you see right here, the support line right here at $45 was definitely breaking out to the upside, because we see a daily moving average act as resistance right here, come back up. We break out of that, show a huge just about, I would say, a hammer. We have an upside down bullish hammer going on here, which led the stock to go higher at 62. Now pay attention to this trade, because I see it up. I see the stock is up almost $3 to $4 each day. So we want to pay attention to trades like that. We want to make sure that we're watching everything that's going on in the market. I know it. I know it's a lot of information, but you do have news apps that are able to keep up with that news. So let's see if we're able to take a look at what's going on in the market. But all eyes are on Snapchat. Let me see if I'm able to pull up let's see a loser here, because I know the short interest on Snapchat is just about shy of less than 10%. So it lets us know that a lot of people are kind of staying away from the trade, and also looking to buy the trade rather than short it. So yeah, so that's just about it. We have I'm not going to discuss any penny stocks, because it's typically that's not what I'm going to look at for the rest of the year. Definitely looking at leverage ETFs. That's typically where the money is. We don't I don't want to touch penny stocks. But as we see right here, we see the market strength breaking out to the upside. We see right here what happened. Like I said, guys, whenever something breaks out or whenever something breaks down, it's either followed by a large bar or it's followed by gapping up. So you see right here, $81 is showing that the market strength is definitely on. So like I said, I showed you guys exactly when to buy this stock, 62, and we just rode the stock all the way up. And I think I sold it at 75, but now it's at $80. So leverage ETFs are definitely the way to go if you're looking for that fast return in a small amount of time, rather than playing penny stocks. But I know a lot of people still like playing penny stocks, but you guys, you got to step up and play with the big boys here, because we see $75 all the way to 81, which indicated $6 a share here. So also let's check out the actual sectors of the market, because a lot of those are overbought. And we see the XLK, which is the technology sector, is definitely overbought. And we see, the financial sector is definitely, in the middle of being, I would say it's in the middle of being close to the overbought side and close to the oversold side. So it's it's right there in the middle of the R side. So we see the daily moving average act as support for the XLF, and this is definitely the banking sector. So instead of buying JP Morgan and Bank of America, which is going to probably run you about over $100, you can definitely just buy the XLF, which runs you about $23, or you can add some leverage on that and play FAS. But as you see right here, daily moving average is definitely acting as tough support right here. And If we were to break, break to the downside like we see right here before, we're definitely going lower. But as of right now, we're holding that daily moving average pretty strong. So I'm not pretty sure what will break us down, but a lot of things will break us up. So we see the market is definitely close to that overbought level. We see S&P 500 close to that overbought level, and see the Qs, which are heavily overbought because they're in that class where you have Facebook, Amazon, Google. All those stocks are bringing that to the upside with those technology stocks, also followed by the video game stocks. So we want to pay attention to that. But that's all I have for you guys for today. Take care. Make sure you're doing your research on different stocks. And like I said, taking profits are definitely easy. You just have to plot your trade, because we see Nike was definitely oversold, or just about getting close to that oversold symbol. And anytime we're able to get that, that's definitely letting us know that it's time to buy the stock. We see Nike is definitely going higher here, but we see that it's definitely time to buy the stock on that little weakness that you see with Nike, and we're able to plot the support and resistance. So being able to plot the support and resistance was able to make me a couple dollars here and there. So we see a V pattern right here. We weren't able to buy exactly at support, but we were able to catch it right here before it went to $54. So that's typically just about $1 per share, and that's pretty good, especially if you're just plotting support and resistance. And we're also taking in account to the RSI and also the chalk and oscillator, letting us know that the buyers are actually stepping back up in here. So that's all I have for you guys. Take care.